Okay, so let's be honest. We'll be upfront about it. We didn't do a podcast last week.
But it's okay.
You know, I had a full-time job for like a week, and
for a week.
And you know, school was starting back up and everything. Things have been hectic. Anxiety's been high, but you know, tensions are finally cooling down as things settle in the middle of the hurricane that we are currently sitting through. It's not that
we're
not
like
really
nowhere near.
It's like we're getting like it's like toenails.
The toenails of the hurricane.
The toenails of the hurricane. You haven't heard of that? They use that. They use that where I'm from a lot. But you know, it is still a thing that is happening right now, and my heart especially goes out to the people that were like down wherever it hit. Obviously, like it's not nearly as strong as it was like where it started. But I'm just hoping that I haven't heard all that many like reports about what's been going on.
Right.
But here's hoping that everyone's doing okay. I don't know how to speak about things like this. Well, you know, and as if to prove exactly how bad I was, I then proceed to complain about one of the most inane things ever. Seriously though, I hope everybody's okay from the hurricane. I know a lot of houses probably got destroyed because of that, especially down at the coast where it hit. I'll see if I can find a fund I could link in the description to go towards aiding that. Once again, my heart goes out to you guys. It's been a day for sure. I had a moment this morning whenever I really decided, well, I guess like I feel like the universe almost decided the energy I was going to bring into this podcast this morning. Whenever first thing that happened to me when I got up, I stumbled out of my bedroom and into my kitchen and had started cleaning out my coffee maker so I could brew myself a pot for the morning to get started with some productive type things. And then what do you know, when I go to pull the coffee pot out of the slot, I bump it on my countertop and I just shatter a small enough hole in the bottom of my coffee pot that whenever I turn, it just starts waterfalling a chute of day-old coffee all over my floor. I just kind of stood there in awe, just watching it happen for a moment. I really should have moved it to the sink faster, but I was in, honestly, disbelief, standing there so early in the morning, not knowing what to think.
As coffee spilled forth on your loins.
Not really on me, but it got on me when I had to, like, get down and clean it, because our mop sucks, but...
Yeah.
Hey, it was a different way of waking me up in the morning. It's,
Yeah.
If I would have cold brewed it last night, this wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
And so, cold brew saves lives.
Saves coffee pot.
A lot less acidity, too. It's a lot better for you in your teeth. So anyway, today I'm just feeling this, very, introspectiveness today. The kind of introspectiveness that you only see after witnessing a waterfall.
Right, a brown waterfall.
Okay, that sounds awful. I'm not making that the title. No one's gonna listen to this if I make that the title.
The brown waterfall?
Yeah, no one's gonna listen to this if I make that the title. Aubrey.
Oh, and they want to listen to an episode called 306 Anal Scope.
I mean, I'm sorry if that's the best quote from the episode. I mean, I'm just trying to display...
Well, it was a misquote.
Was it?
360 Anal Scope.
What did I put?
306. Did you just now realize that? I thought you knew and you just couldn't fix it.
No, I can fix it.
It's been up like that for weeks, and I knew. I just figured you also knew.
Whose episode was that?
John's.
That's fine. I think he thought I did it on purpose. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna commit to it at this... No, I can't change it at this point. I can't admit that I'm wrong. Editor's note. I will admit oopsie, but I stick to it. It stays 306. So yeah, that's what I'm bringing to the studio today. Do you like my energy?
I don't know. I mean, but I'm feeling the same kind of way. I guess it's just been a long, weirdly frustrating day.
It is school starting back up too. You definitely got a lot going on there, I assume. Which there's a lot to say, but I feel like we're all kind of tired of talking and hearing about it at this point, even just at the end of the first week. So we don't have to go too much into it.
Well, then let's just go ahead and change the topic.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. Let's just talk about some stuff and things then.
All right.
Some stuff but not things. How about that? What do you... Let's hear it.
With another trash reality TV, trash reality content for you.
Okay, seems like good time for it. All right, let's hear it.
It is. How far is Tattoo Far?
Oh, God.
I discovered this show on Snapchat because MTV started putting it up. I pretty much watch every one they release because it is just insanely entertaining to watch two people that obviously have some sort of animosity for each other almost every time. Sometimes there's no animosity, but like most of the time, there's animosity.
And usually if there's not, it's created.
And then they let them pick out each other's tattoos, which is like a terrible idea. And then they let it get put on their body. Like, these people allow the tattoo artist to tattoo them forever with a mystery design from the enemy standing next to them, which is a terrible, terrible idea. But
well, I mean, some of the people, it's their relationship partner. But isn't that awful? that what you say is usually pretty much...
Yeah.
Like, that's correct.
No, yeah, there was one today where it was a mix of, honestly, both of the worst sides that the tattoos can go. The couple had some issues with infidelity. The guy had cheated on her before and brought the girl into their home. Like, the girl let her know that this had happened, showed her pictures where the girl was in her home. She explicitly told her, and I'm only saying this because it's important, she explicitly told her he had sex with her like a dog on all fours. So, she in turn tattoos him with a dog facing like, you know, the backside.
Sure.
And his belly button is the dog's butthole.
Yeah.
And then the head of the dog looks like, apparently should look like the woman that he cheated with. Essentially, it was just supposed to be some really ugly ass girl. And like, oh, it was bad. It's like front and center on his stomach for the rest of his life. But like, they revealed hers first. And what hers was a lovely, like, multicolored chameleon on her back. And at the end of the chameleon's tail was a little ring. Because he had wanted them to, you know, move forward and get married because they were supposed to get married before.
Yikes.
And he was like, you know, we need to be like a chameleon and we need to change. And she goes, what the fuck do I need to change? You're the one who cheated on me. And I was like, oh. And then she revealed that tattoo and she said, fuck you, I'm done. And left.
Oh,
and I was like, damn, this is savage. Like,
wait, did he not know that she knew about the cheating?
No, he knew that she knew, and he was saying the chameleon was like, we need to change and grow from this incident, and she's like, I don't need to change and grow. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I mean, there was one where guy gave his buddy a steroid shot tattoo in the back. I saw one woman spitefully tattoo I love porn, and the O's were boobies.
Nice.
On
Good
his
stuff.
forearm. Like, where everyone can see it. This 40-year-old man has a giant Comic Sans bubble letter font. I love porn.
Well, here's hoping that doesn't get him put on any lists.
I think it immediately puts you on every list.
Well, Aubrey, suffice to say, I think you're safe in the notion that I would never go out of my way to tattoo something that you'd hate onto you, but I do have something to show you that, you know, I feel like I wasn't sure when to do this, but like now seems like a great time since I was talking about tattooing a specific character onto you.
What are you gonna show me?
It's right there.
Oh, this is vandalism in my own home! Ladies and gentlemen,
like 2 weeks.
Mason flipped up the edge of my table, to which he has placed a sticker of my least favorite anime character of all time. I'm upset. This is why I wouldn't try. This is why we could never go on that show together, because you do something like this and it'd be on my body forever.
I mean, this is why I wouldn't do something like that. I mean, I understand.
See, he says that, but he would.
I mean, like, if it's gonna
Yeah. Anyways, How Far is Tattoo Far is hosted by Nicole Palazzi, also known as Snooki, and Nico Tortella, and then they added in Justina Valentine. You've probably seen her on, what's that show Nick Cannon had? Or has? Wild 'N Out. Pete Davidson was on it, Justina Valentine was on it, a ton of people. And it is the US version of a UK show called Just Tattoo Us.
Okay.
I read some people on Reddit talking about this, and comparing the two. You know, everyone says, How Far is Tattoo Far is great, but it does not hold a candle to Just Tattoo Us, the UK version.
I don't think I've seen any of that.
I was doing some research.
Research as in you were watching some of them.
I was just more looking at the photos. I didn't have time to, watch all of them. I've already watched way too many How Far is Tattoo Far.
Yeah, you were reviewing some of those today, and I was worried that it was going to end up being your topic, and what do you know, I was right.
Yeah, this one started in 2016, 2017, and Just Tattoo Us has a lot more terrible tattoos. Right off the bat is a cattle brand that says slut on somebody's ass. Followed by a man with his penis exposed, and it is very large.
Okay, nice. Kind of like that mask I have.
Another is a tattoo of a toilet with a giant shit in it.
That's heinous.
Another one is a back tattoo of a girl shitting.
Okay, I don't know which one I think is worse.
No, yeah, and the further you go, they just get worse. One's like somebody pulling a tampon string.
That's fun.
There's a vibrator.
Thigh
There's
tattoos.
a
Oh man.
third, even larger nipple tattoo.
That one's my favorite.
Penalty charge notice enclosed.
You need to get a front tramp stamp that says the bone zone.
Oh God. Absolutely not. I will say though, as much as a lot of these tattoos tend to be terrible tattoos, there are every once in a while a few that are empowering or meant with love, or there's a lot of proposal tattoos, but I don't consider the proposal tattoos to be good tattoos because A, they never are.
Usually
and B, that's on your body forever. The thing that says, will you marry me, is on your body forever, no matter how long you're married. And, sure, it's a good memory, but also you really want those stick figures proposing on your arm forever?
Yeah.
No. Why don't you just, give them something they'd want as, a gift, as the proposal or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think what the problem is that tattoos and body art, I mean, that is something that's going onto your own body, something that you carry with yourself and puts an outward view on everybody else. It's a picture frame of yourself. People judge you for what they see on your body. So it's a really personal thing to have someone else who does not own your body
choose that. Yeah.
Pick something to put on
I don't understand why people show up to this show with people that it's you can't trust her. You can't trust him. Speaking of tattoos, there was a couple on 90 Day Fiancé that at their wedding ceremony, instead of exchanging rings, they just got ring tattoos right then and there.
Huh.
What? But also, that's so cool. I would way rather do that because then I wouldn't lose a several $1,000 ring.
I feel like a proposal is different than a ring because a ring, you guys are making an agreement hey, we're getting married. Let's get these two things put on us for each other. Those are decisions you're making for yourself.
Well, yeah, but I also understand the divorce rate's 50% and rising. Yeah. So maybe not the best idea, but also tattoo removal is so easy now.
It's really
it's
painful.
Still quite expensive.
Painful.
A lot of them aren't as painful as you'd think.
Maybe they just say that to try to scare you as a kid. I don't know.
I think so, honestly.
I've never even gotten a tattoo
it is a little bit painful,
place,
like, I'm not gonna lie. I've done some research on it, but I also don't have any tattoos that I would part with at this point.
Yeet.
I'm also not the kind of person to get a tattoo that I'd probably want to remove.
Yeah.
But, never say never, I suppose.
I guess. I mean, you still got plenty of time left to make that decision. Yeah, I mean, I kind of need to have a tattoo first, but, I've wanted to get one for a long time, but I need to be... It's a commitment, especially, like, the fact that I just want one specific thing so bad that it's kind of stopped me from getting anything else because of how big of a piece it is. But it's fine. It's a lot of money.
You might want to start with something a little smaller just to get a feel for what you're going in. Because like what do you do when you start a whole back piece and then somebody's like, I can't do it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to go to like a tattoo convention, and then you can get tattooed by multiple people in one day if you want.
See, I would just like to have a really nice piece of art, but I worry that over time, like, what I'm interested in when it comes to, like, that sort of stuff would change. But at the same time, I could just stick to, like, one of the themes of things that I tend to always like.
I also think the world of cover-up tattoo art has grown so much lately. There's even another show about that, like, just about covering up tattoos.
Yeah, I think I saw you also looking at that at the same time.
No, it's impressive to watch what artists can do to cover up old ink, because it's definitely a special type of skill.
It really makes you feel a special type of way.
Absolutely.
About yourself.
Suppose we should go ahead and take a break?
Yeah, we should
hear from our sponsors.
Go finally eat that chalupa that's staring at me. Haha, yeah. It's ad stuff. Woo. Woo, yeah. Ad stuff. Okay, hey. Listen to me. He's not listening to this. Help. I need you to help me. They haven't fed me in weeks. I've been living in his room. Please, I need someone to help me. Please, if you're listening to this fake ad, I really need you to fill this space, so that way they can finally get rid of me. They won't have any more use for me if someone please sponsor them. Help me.
That was a lovely ad break.
I haven't heard it myself personally, but the boys over at the in the marketing department, they never seem to fail. I'm always
never let us down, ever.
I really agree. The editing goblin that I have shoved in my second closet that we record in sometimes, he gets branding. I gotta say, he gets it. He really gets it.
Yeah, anyway. After we starved him out for a while, he really seemed to get the idea.
Yeah. You just feed him a little bit at a time.
Fear tactics.
That was her idea. She also said I couldn't name him.
If he names him, he'll get attached, and if we overwork him, God forbid he, dies due to heat exhaustion because there's no AC in the closet, then, I don't want to be held liable like it's a person.
Well, that's why I had to start just letting him work in my room, and then I would just kind of hang out in the closet while he was working. Honestly, it made me kind of wonder why I was even, like, paying him to do that in the first place, because I was really...
You pay him?
And hopes and food.
Alright. Well, what are we talking about? What did you bring for us?
When I am feeling a certain sort of way, and it's rainy outside, and I lose the ability to make myself coffee, I feel like reading a little bit of something. I feel like we can all relate to the idea of having things as distractions, especially like just for pulling yourself out of your head and like dealing with your own stuff from time to time. I know that's why I listen to the sort of stuff that we make. But, sometimes it's even nicer to take yourself on a little journey while you're doing it and distracting yourself from your inner turmoil. So, if everyone would love to come learn along with me.
Learn along with me.
As, I dive a little bit into a book that was written by a close personal friend of mine.
Deep friend of the pod.
A deep, deep friend of the pod. Definitely need that added to the lore. This is from the book named The Compendium of Forgotten Secrets, Awakening. It's got a picture of an eyeball and some tentacles around it. It's pretty spooky looking. So this book is actually a homebrew, non-official, like I guess like expansion.
Edition.
An expansion of a class that a personal friend of mine and previous roommate William King wrote to add on to 5e for for warlocks specifically. He had a lot more like side stuff to other people, but it was focused on warlocks. So pretty much in fifth edition of D&D, I don't know if other editions work like this. This is just how this one does. Once you're level 3, or you start out with it, but you get more of the effects at level 3. Each warlock has to make a pact of a certain kind. And they start off, it's like with like blades or fiend or like something else, magic, I'm not sure. But the point of it is like that's sort of like you make a pact with like a greater being, and they give you a small form of their power. It's much more like chaotic thing than like say like a paladin or something.
Oh.
But so basically, what Will did is he took that idea and went, hey, what if I just created just this massive laundry list of different specific things instead of very general things that I could have people make pacts with for their class. So instead of being the Pact of Blades, it'd be the pact with, say, the Ashen Wolf or the Shadow Cat. You know,
What's the freaky spider one?
The spider one? You know, I was actually going to ask which one you wanted to read, so sure. I will pull up the spider one, which is actually a class that Will tested in one of my own campaigns. Oh yeah,
right,
it is.
this is why I'm the most familiar. The Weaver of Lies.
Yes, the Weaver of Lies. I'll have you look at that photo.
I will say he hired some wonderful artists.
I'll tell you.
The book.
I'll tell you what, he wrote like a novel's worth of lore to go along with every single one of these things. But I will say it like getting all of this art done and getting it picked out and fine-tuned for this book, I want to say took probably more time than it. He spent so long on the art, but honestly, it was worthwhile because it's really well done, and every single piece inside of this. I feel like we're marketing this book now. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Well, you know.
I mean, it's my friend's personal project. He only made like. No, he
published it himself, and I find that pretty impressive.
Yeah, he actually figured out how to make a publishing company and did that himself. I'm proud of him for that, because he did that while he was, I believe, getting started with law. No, it was before he went to law school.
See, I mean,
he does a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Sure, you might have published a big old nerd book, but you still published your own big old nerd book before law school.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I was inspired by that myself. I mean, that's why I went out of my way to do something like this. I mean, it was in part way inspired by him in that way. And also what I'm trying to do right now with trying to hit up other people about doing some audio work too. It's just trying to turn your passion or something you do as a hobby into actually something legitimate, I think is cool. Because no matter what, like, in this day and age, I feel like you have something that you can show off on your resume that shows that you were committed to it. Then, like, that means a lot. It means something. Like, the people, you get yourself, like, through all your shit and actually, like, make something. It's weirdly enough, it's a lot easier than you'd expect, but it takes a lot of effort in the personal region. I think it takes a lot more effort in the personal region than it does really in the rest of it. Sure, there are some like technical stuff you have to work past, but the most important part is that I should start reading this book before I take too long. The Weaver of Lies. This is one of the many patrons that you can make a pact with. He played a character named Formerly, who showed up after one of his other characters died by unmasking herself as being one of the NPCs in my town that I had you guys in.
She didn't make it very far, did she, though?
No, she made it like a session and a half and then made a really dumb decision.
She definitely tried to kill me at one point, too.
And when she made that decision, I gave her an out. because the thing I was doing was in some way kind of unfair, because I go a little bit more creative with my stuff. But Will decided he wanted to be respectful and take it. But
he's one of those guys that like he'll go all in with his characters, and he is really not concerned if they die. He is more than ready to make another character.
It's definitely not because he had 14 different classes that he needed to test out in a short period of time. Definitely not that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that at all.
Not
Not that at all. Anyway, the subtitle is The Bane of All Truth. In the beginning, the world was created. Many argue about how this was done, but most accept it as the actions of the gods themselves that led to the creation of life upon the material plane. However, this is one being that is not created deliberately by any deity and was not spawned until some far and godforsaken, not spawned upon some far and godforsaken plane. Instead, it is a creature born when the forces responsible for the creation of the world acted with deceit for the first time. Those who delve deep into the ancient texts called this creature the Weaver of Lies, describing it often as the trickster responsible for the terrible conflicts and destructive war that arise from mistrust and suspicion. It is called the Great Deceiver. Did you wanna popcorn this?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Get in there.
The Weaver of Lies is often depicted as a massive spider-like creature with an eerily human mouth and a long, nightmarish tongue. Webs of spider silk and woven shadow adorn its purplish
chitinous, yeah.
Its purple chitinous body, and religious symbols hang blasphemously from those tattered threads. Its golden green eyes glare unblinking at those that stand before it, dull and remorseless in the subtle light of its lair. Barbed spines grow from its back and head, forming a twisted crown that seems to be a mockery of any true regalia. Those who have heard it speak are said to describe its voice as wholesome and trustworthy, despite the obviously deceptive source. Some people who have spoken to the Weaver have described it akin to a person draped in a spiderweb cloak without skin or bone beneath. Instead, an endless horde of skittering spiders move and stand in the shape of a man or woman, with a cruel visage made from arachnids starting forth from beneath the ever-raised hood. Of course, this form is likely a mere facade in order to disturb or comfort the mortal viewer, for the true form of a liar, such as this, can hardly be determined.
Yes, jumping ahead here, reality and incomprehension. The Weaver is more than just a liar. It is a lie. Everything about it is fake and false, even when it is true. This is often difficult for mortal minds to begin to grasp, but at a fundamental level, it remains. The Weaver does not obey the laws of the universe, because to it, those laws are lies. It defies them. It breaks them. It rewrites them in accordance with its plan and wishes. It is equal to the deities that it hates, and is only kept in check by the eldritch forces and older, darker powers that exist on the edges of reality. It is a made thing, but also a maker, twisting the corners of truth into spiraling shadows that it weaves once more into lies. Of the All-Risen, the Weaver is among the most dangerous. When it is involved in anything, it is pulling all of the strings. Oh, and the All-Risen are the patrons, the different creatures that he made for this. Man, why is Will not just like a writer? He made all of this. For his second book, he's been getting more consultants, but he made most of this himself.
No, yeah.
He took a lot of inspiration from a lot of the other books that we've owned over time, but there's a lot going on here. He even added little leaflet notes for the characters that supposedly wrote the book of info on this too, which is great because it's a character that existed in a campaign that he ran that I was actually in. In fact, I believe my character is mentioned here. I'll read it, sure. I think it's on the topic of the Weaver. Before I traveled with Xandith and his companions, I was an arcane researcher studying at the behest of a tyrant. Apparently my rivals at the academy set me and my teams up, sending us unwittingly into the lair of one of the Weaver's many children. We were captured, and it feasted upon our magical energies. my fellows died. It dragged me around like a puppet, forcing me to cast destructive magic at X and his friends while it hid invisible. Luckily, they slew the creature and spared my life. Spiders boiled forth from the corpse of the massive nightmare and formed into the shape of a cloaked figure. It spoke to us, and I believed it even though I knew it to be a liar. It told me that my friends were alive back in the lair. It told me that I was responsible for what had happened. It told me I should beware of those who saved me. I became paranoid, distrustful even of my own eyes. It was only in the embrace of the convocation that I could find peace, because when you have real friends, the truth doesn't hurt. Sylvette. Also, the convocation, I actually know exactly what this is talking about. That is another of the All Risen that I forgot that she got sucked into, literally, because it is of the gelatinous cubes that exist in space and want to know all of the information in the world. And they basically create hive mind slime people, but they're all super happy all the time. It's weird.
I've been involved in a battle with a gelatinous cube on stage.
Oh yeah. In that nerd play you did. Get off Snapchat. Let's talk about that nerd play. Come on.
Wait 1 second.
Oh my fucking god. Apparently China is more important than this podcast.
Well, I've been delighted to see her resin art, and she offered to make me a resin art tray.
I see how it is. Yeah, there we go. The gelatinous convocation.
Oh.
We actually saw this scene ourselves in his campaign too. And like my dude was an Ashen Wolf, and Blake and Jeff's dude was like of the huntsman who was the ice guy and was trying to hunt the Ashen Wolf, and we had a falling out. And that's when he clocked me. He was a devout cleric that clocked me in the back of the head and knocked me out in one go and then dipped, leaving me dead in the snow. Almost dead.
That sounds like a total Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame move.
It's fine. I'd say I got my revenge, but we never, played the last 2 sessions of that campaign, so I just assumed I would have. He actually disappeared for a long time, but I was expecting him to come back for the finale as, an NPC. But, stuff happens. School, summer, all that stuff. Not living with the people anymore kind of hurt that as well, but,
Just a reminder to register to vote. We don't care who you vote for. That's your business. But, you should vote. You should register to vote and do that because it's important,
So we can get Donald Trump out of the office.
Again, we don't care who you vote for. But, if you don't register to vote, what are we going to do?
You should register to vote.
You should just do it.
You should just...
now?
Hey, I know we're, just hanging out. And we're just having a good time, but, you should, register to vote. Come on. You want to.
You really should. Register to vote.gov. I think that's the website.
I think that'd be really cool if we, registered to vote together. Haha. JK.
Actually, I think it's register to vote your state, or .yourstate.gov.
Unless...
I mean, we could. You can do it online. We could do it right now. Actually, that's what we're going to do right now.
I am registered already, though. Do we?
Oh.
You don't have to re-register every year, do you?
I have to register because I have to get an absentee ballot because I'm an out-of-state.
Gotcha. No, yeah, I registered to vote here in Fayetteville, so I'm all squared up on that.
But now, you don't have no excuse.
I got re-registered over here.
You have no excuse unless you're a Jehovah's Witness because they don't vote, apparently.
Also, how are you listening to this? Hey, what's up? I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Hope your parents don't hear us.
Yeah, they probably don't like our profanity.
I mean, they definitely see the explicit tag. I have to put that, mostly just because of the titles alone.
Alright, well, we talked about tattoos,
not trusting
magical,
our friends,
mythical things, not trusting our friends, body art in general, many things. And we'll be back next week with some form of guest. And again, we don't know who that guest is yet, but we'll have a guest.
It always happens. Sometimes by accident. Sometimes
on purpose.
From a very intricate plan that we made 3 months ago and completely forgot about. Speaking of which, remember that I've asked Will 30 times to be on the show? Maybe we should do something about that.
Oh yeah, that would be good because we just talked about his book. So
Yeah, that'd be a good. That'd be
be
a
a good
good
segue.
segue. Do people do full episode segues? Because if not, let's patent that. So next time, we talk about segues.
Like the scooter thing.
Yeah. Just put a real stamp on it.
You don't admit it. Does anybody actively admit they have well, okay, actually, I've known a couple of people that actively admit they have daddy issues.
I mean, some people do, but everyone has their own way of coping with their own problems, you know. There's a difference between admitting it to yourself and, like, talking about it, openly with people. I mean, I think as long as you're talking to somebody about it.